want to go too much into it, but let me see. How many of you guys have ever been in a situation where you've had a friend or where you were in a relationship where you really cared about that person, but you didn't really appreciate them while they were still in your life? I'm not sure what it is. Yeah, well, so this poem is kind of a little bit about that. It's a little bit about my wrestle through some of that, and it's a dream. So what I want you guys to do all across the room is just close your eyes. Close your eyes. Don't fall asleep on me. Close your eyes and really pay attention to the images. These vivid visions of images find themselves firmly fixed in his subconscious. Constant sweet memories that mimic the movement of her lips, uttering random pleasantries and witty jests arrest the attention of his mind's eye. While becoming more and more aware of this inception, this dream within a dream, it narrows his focus. He notices that her caramel-colored cheekbones are gracefully ascending. From the top of her nostrils on down, he witnesses the gradual formation of acute angled creases wrapped around the outer rims of a vehicle that whispered prayers on his behalf. Her petitions were carried like precious cargo directly to the throne room of God, and yet an equally flawed medium that spat sharp sarcasm cutting through the toughest of skin. But hold up. When he needed to hear sweet symphonic sound bites of healing, encouragement, wisdom, poetic rhythms of kind-hearted speech, she always spoke those things with ease. And now, this silent, slow-motion moment finds a way to say more than her warm honey dialect. With the two corners of her mouth turning upward, with her tight, dainty teeth uncovered, with a flutter of her slightly slant eyelids, with a tiny twitch of her nose, those dark rose coffee-colored eyes look at him with delight, and her fully formed smile. Oh man, her smile, her smile, it shakes him to the core, brings conviction to his soul. How could I ever hold a petty grudge or judge her by the bitter fruits of my hurtful past? My secret feelings of unrest amassed over time, a sign that maybe the roots of his trust issues really suffer from neglect. A thought that brings deep regret, wrecked as the nighttime head trip sharply shifts elsewhere. It's a terrain stained with stranger things, like this dark, shadowy atmosphere. It's an upside-down world, and it's marked by swirls of decay and hints of fear, a thick stench of sickness, rotten eggs, and toxic ash wafts in this suffocating atmosphere, unaware of his surroundings until the woman he called best friend is fully disappears, without a trace. Face and essence completely taken over by this small field scene, and now it's just him, alone and cold, with a keen sense that something is deeply wrong inside his soul. So help me God. Outcry of desperation that he assumes to echo hollow, yet he follows his gut knowing he has to get out of here, because this ain't a sweet dream no more. It's a nightmare, and callousness don't fight fair. Man, it gives him every single reason to stand 10 toes down still. Man, I ain't never gonna heal, he says. I'm gonna protect myself, he says. I shouldn't trust again, he says, and every seed planted sprouts a forest of bone-dried trees. Except out the corner of his right eye, he sees soft white pink cherry blossoms pile up on ground. He walks over with caution, looks around with wonder, found no other option but to stretch his hand low, as if to gently pluck each bud, though stops shortly as he's reminded of her smile. While profound rays of light pierce through thick gray skies and shines like springtime warmth on this black boy's skin now. The stirring of east and west winds carries a voice that resembles his God, homie, family, and her. All in tandem they say, you need to look past your past in this twilight zone like monochrome landscape. Scrape up these cherry blossom petals, and here, take this bike, press hard against this rusted metal, and pedal through these hollow woodlands. Thank you.